What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Cadiz in La Liga. The title charge continues for the blaugrana as they take on relegation candidate Cadiz at home, where they look to continue their lead in La Liga, which of course is the priority trophy to win this season. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in the video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so your regular kickoff time in La Liga, and this match will be taking place at the beautiful Spotify Camp Nou, and the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch will be Pablo Gonzalez Fuertes, and on the VR will be Jose Luis Gonzalez. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona currently sit top of La Liga on 56 points. After playing 21 matches, we have 18 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Look at our last 5 games in the league. The best recent form in the league, of course, 5 out of 5 victories. Second place, Real Madrid are currently sat on 48 points. After playing 21 matches, they have 15 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. You look at their last 5 games in the league, 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So Barcelona currently sit 8 points clear at the top of La Liga with all games in hand played. Midweek, Real Madrid did beat Elche 4-0 to close their gap from 11 points to 8 points. You have Sociedad on 42 points and Atletico Madrid on 38 points as well. So of course, looks like top 4 is secured for Barcelona, but of course the objective is to win the league. You know, we're over the halfway point now. We have an 8-point lead against Real Madrid. Is now just about continuing the momentum, keeping the streak going, and then when those big opportunities come in those big games against, Atletico Madrid, Sociedad, whatever the case may be, you have to go on and you have to capitalize. Now, if you look at the top teams who they'll be facing this weekend, Real Sociedad will be hosting Celta Vigo, which I believe will be taking place later on today. Real Madrid will be traveling to Osasuna. Now, Osasuna have been on fine form over the past few months, but Real Madrid do have great form there and great recent history at Osasuna, so I expect Real Madrid to get a 3 points. I could see a draw happening, but I think a loss would be very, very difficult. And finally, the big match of the weekend, Atletico Madrid will be hosting Athletic Club. So we are expecting all 3 of the teams in second, third, and fourth pick up 3 points. So Barcelona must do the same against Cadiz. Now, if you look at our opponents in Cadiz and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 16th place in La Liga on 22 points. After playing 21 matches, they have 5 wins, 7 draws, and 9 losses. But you look at their last 5 games in the league, 2 losses, 2 wins, and 1 draw. So they're currently in a good moment in the league. They've just about have more points than game played, but they still are only 2 points above the relegation zone. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Cadiz. Like I just mentioned, they're currently 2 points only above the relegation zone, but since their promotion back in 2020, they have a very good record against Barcelona. They were undefeated against us since the last game that we did play against them this season, away from home, which was a 4-0 victory for the blaugrana. This was a very, very, very tight game. I remember like the back of my head. We went 1-0 up on Frenkie de Jong. Lewandowski got a quick goal, and then unfortunately a fan did have a heart attack in the stands. The game was paused for about half an hour, 40 minutes. We came back into action to play the last 15 minutes. Cadiz were all over the place, and Barcelona capitalized with the goal from Ansu Fati and Ousmane Dembele. So it was still very difficult up until the hour mark. We were only 1-0 up, and barely. It was actually quick play from Gavi to create that goal for Frenkie de Jong. Now, if you look at the lineup, the 2 players that we did sell in January were both starting, and they're both no longer with us, in Hector Bellerin and also Memphis Depay. Pique is retired, of course, so we will see a very similar lineup, or very different lineup, should I say, from the one that we did see in the away leg for this match. But again, it was still tough despite the core line, because the score line was, you can say, over-exaggerated with the unfortunate incident that did happen in the game. Now, if you take a look at the last 5 matches in all competition, in the last match they beat Girona 2-0, they lost Athletic Club 4-1, they beat Mallorca 2-0, they lost Sevilla 1-0, and they drew 1-1 with relegation and bottom of the league, of course, Elche. Let's take a look now at the last 3 matches in all competition. Firstly is the 2-0 win against Mallorca. Now, Cadiz line up in a 4-4-2 formation. They're at home in this match, and you know what? Mallorca just didn't turn up. Cadiz did have a very, very good game. Alex Fernandez, of course, their captain, had a stellar performance, and also other players like Alvaro Negredo, Anthony Lozano, and also Theo Bogdana also had a very good performance as well. In the end, they walked away with a comfortable 2-0 victory. Next up was their 4-1 thrashing away to Athletic Club. Of course, Ernesto Valverde's men are by far a better team, well structured, have good players in all departments, and this was a walk in the park. It was disappointing on their side that they did concede a goal in this match, and then it's a plus side for Cadiz that they actually scored a goal in this match, but they weren't up to the scratches in this match, they weren't up to the races, and they walked away with no points. And finally, the last match of all competition was a 2-0 win against Girona, which I did believe took place last Friday. So they're coming into this match with over a week's rest, which of course is very, very crucial. We had a big game, of course, on Thursday against Manchester United, and we also played, I believe, on Sunday. So we're coming to this match. We've already played 2 games after they played their last game, so that's something to take into consideration for sure. 2-0 victory against our Catalonia neighbors in Girona. Very, very good performance from Cadiz. This is, of course, a big game for them. They want to get out of the relegation zone. A lot of hype around this. Sergio Guardiola, one of their new signings, of course, is a very well-known striker in La Liga, got his goal as well, and they were very, very dominant, and they did play a very, very strong game, and overall they walked away with 3 crucial points. So overall, final thoughts on Cadiz. They're typical lower opposition side in La Liga against the top teams. What are they going to do? They're going to sit back, park the bus, defend for their lives, and hit on the counterattack. And in our last 5 meetings, they have done that to perfection in 4 out of 5. The current manager, of course, is Sergio Gonzalez, who's done very well for Cadiz since their promotion. He's a very good manager, very experienced, and he's gotten the job done a lot over the past few seasons as well. Now, in terms of players to look out for, I would look out for a few. Firstly, Sergio Guardiola, their striker. Alvaro Negredo, their other striker as well. Alex in the midfield always puts in the shift for them as well. Lucas Hernandez, one of their center backs. But I think the most important player is their goalkeeper, Ledesma. He's been on fire, I think, since the beginning of last season. He's done so well for them. Crucial saves, passing out from the back. He's probably one of their most important players, so look out for him as well. But again, it's all about, team that's togetherness and having unity. They have to defend from the back and then counter-attack together as well. Without that, with the just discombobulation, they won't do it properly. So again, for Barcelona, it's typical. Dominate the ball, dominate possession, and finish the chances. If you just keep, letting the chances fly away, they won't come around anymore. And again, Cadiz will happily take a point. They'll celebrate it like they won the Champions League. This is going to be a very, very, very tight back 4, even probably back 5 from Cadiz. They're going to keep it very, very tight, won't let anything go through, so Barcelona must break through it. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Busquets, Gavi, Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Varane, Enaki Peña, Christensen, Alonso, Jordi Alba, Kessie, Roberto De Jong, Raphinha, Kounde, Eric Garcia, Balde, Pablo Torre, Arnaud Tenes, and Alecron. So from the last squad list, a few changes. Of course, Dembele is still out, Pedri out, Araujo is suspended for this game, but we do have the return of the captain Sergio Busquets, who has returned earlier than expected. Now, of course, with us in the second half of the season, yellow card suspension is something to look out for this season for sure, and there's currently 4 members of the team who are 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Those 4 members of the team are the captain Sergio Busquets, Pablo Gavi, Ferran Torres, and also the manager Xavi Hernandez. So if any of them pick up a yellow card in this match, they will be suspended for the next game in La Liga. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. His press conference this morning, of course, was asked a lot of questions from the media about the current form, rotation, some players, and of course a quick look at Manchester United next week as well in the Europa League. And Xavi was pretty funny in this press conference. He got a few laughs from some of the journalists as well. He was very open. It was, a bit strange, but it is what it is. So let's get and see what Xavi had to say in the presser. He came out saying it's always a pity to have players not available. Pedri is vital for us because he makes a difference. We lose a transcendental footballer, but the positive is that there's a good alternative on the bench. Regardless of whether we have won or lost against Manchester United, there would have been rotation tomorrow. It is now time to rotate, not only for Thursday, but for everything that remains. So Xavi was saying, look, if we have, a Copa del Rey round of 32 game on Thursday, we would still be rotating today, because now is the time to rotate, because now we're losing players to niggling injuries, because we don't really rotate heavily those that much too often. Then asked about Robert Lewandowski's current form. He said that what he shows isn't bad. The level he performed at before the World Cup is extraordinary. We have to insist on finding Lewandowski more. More plays have to go through him. So I agree with Xavi, of course. He does play well, but he's just not finishing right now in the final third. So he needs to receive more balls and more opportunities as well. Then asked about Ferran Torres, saying that Ferran Torres, he just needs confidence. He's in a moment in which he's not having the performances that everyone expects of him, but we have a lot of faith in him. Then asked about this 4-4-2 formation. Apparently when Barcelona are not defending, they look like we're in a 4-4-2, and he was asked why that is, and Xavi said, I've never worked with a 4-4-2 in my life. I don't like it. I like to play open on the pitch. So there you have it. He was then asked whether or not this is Pablo Torre's moment to get into the team now. He said that everyone has to be ready. Kessie is a perfect example. He has known how to wait and to be patient without having a bad attitude or something like that. He's been training well, and now is his time, and he's an extraordinary example. Then asked about Ousmane Dembele coming back from injury. Said the look is still a bit too early. He has started to train on the pitch a bit, but it's still very, very early to call. It depends on how he feels. That's the most important thing. Then he said that look, Pablo Torre is ready. The team will need him at any moment. It's not easy because he has brutal competition, but he must be ready to play. And I've heard many times that we are apparently the defensive team. I think that's incredible. We are the most offensive team in the world, alongside Manchester City. Then he was asked about Ansu Fati, saying that could Ansu Fati be like Rashford in the sense that his form very, very poor, and out of nowhere spikes up and he's one of the best wingers in the world. He said hopefully he has the qualities for that. Then it's all about confidence. His performance will mark his team at the club, but we do have a lot of faith in him. Then he was asked about Eric Garcia, saying look, he hasn't played that much this season, it's now time to play. And Xavi said, yes, I've been very, very unfair with Eric Garcia. He trains very well, he never complains, and he has a positive, and he's always positive with a smile. He deserves more minutes. So with that being said, I think Eric Garcia will be starting tomorrow. They asked about Raphinha, saying I'm the one who trusted him the most. He's a player with the most assists in the team. He scores in the 1v1. He's daring more. He's extraordinary. And when there was criticism, I had no doubts about him that he was going to succeed. Then asked about the return of Busquets, saying that look, it's always noticeable when he's missing. He has the tactical ability of a winner. He's very important in circulating the ball, and he hardly loses possession as well. Then asked a personal question about him being a coach and making big decisions and all that sort of stuff. That look, it's not easy being a coach. I've been a lot in making drastic decisions. For example, telling players last summer they cannot continue at the club, and that for me is a sign of improvement. And also in the press conference, I've matured a lot as well. So there you go. And finally, Xavi concluded by saying that we had to play very well against Cadiz, because in recent years our record against them has not been great. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Cadiz tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. Every time my manager rotates, it's damn near impossible to pick, especially with some injuries happening and a lot of good squad players on the bench. I don't think anyone can predict what Xavi's going to go with unless you're some psycho, but I'll make my prediction. I have gone with this lineup on the screen right now. I think I'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Kounde, Christensen, Marcos Alonso, and Alejandro Balde, midfield three of De Jong, Roberto, and Kessie, and a front three of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Gavi. Now, starting off in the back line, I am very, very intrigued to see what Xavi does. Now, with the press conference, of course, giving a lot of praise to Eric Garcia, I do suspect that Eric Garcia will start. But do you start Alonso, who played well against United and got a goal? Do you start Christensen because you actually rotated to rest him to play in this game? What do you do there to start Eric Garcia? You just drop Alonso completely. And then, of course, at right back is Kounde. I think Kounde deserves a rest, like, beyond belief. The minutes this man has played is ridiculous, but there's no direct replacement for him because the direct replacement is playing in the midfield. So I think Xavi might even consider Balde at right back and then put Jordi Alba left back. But I think constructing the back four will be very, very crucial for Xavi and very, very difficult to do. But I think the only guarantee right now you could say are Alejandro Balde and Eric Garcia. So I do suspect Eric Garcia to start maybe ahead of Christensen or Marcos Alonso, but you never know. And the midfield as well is a bit of a question mark. I think he will go with De Jong, Roberto, and Kessie. We could see Pablo Torre start, but I highly doubt that. If you don't start Pablo Torre, this is the only really midfield that you can construct without, making moves anywhere else. He could drop Gavi in the midfield and start Ansu Fati on the left. That could be a possibility as well. Would not be surprised if he did that. But if he was to construct the midfield three with the same formation that we have played over the past few games, I think he will go with De Jong, Roberto, and Kessie. And find the front three, I think he'll go strong. Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Gavi. I think Gavi will definitely start because, of course, midweek on Thursday, he is suspended for the match against Manchester United. So he'll get a week break. So now's the time to play him. Lewandowski, he's playing the graveyard shift for the past few games, so I think he's fully fit still. He just needs to get a few goals to boost his confidence. And Raphinha is playing well. I do think Raphinha does need a rest, but when he's on good form like this, you have to give him the confidence and continue to play him. And that's not my thing that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach. And boy, oh boy, have I made a few changes from Xavi's lineup. I've gone with this lineup on the screen right now. I've gone with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Alejandro Balde, Christensen, Marcos Alonso, and Jordi Alba. Midfield three of Roberto, Kessie, and Gavi. And a front three of Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and Ansu Fati. I've gone basically full rotation, essentially. I get it that, some players are injured and suspended, all that sort of stuff, but I've gone purely for full rotation. Now, with Xavi's words in the press conference, I probably would start Eric Garcia ahead of Marcos Alonso, but I do want to give Kounde some rest. The man has played every minute since the World Cup final, which is redonkulous in my opinion. It's absurd, and he's a few games away from picking up an injury like Pedri did against Man United, and he'll be out for a month, and then we're all going to be crying. So I'd watch out for that. So that, in my opinion, since Roberto's going to be playing in the midfield, I would go with Balde at right back, and then stick with Jordi Alba at left back. In the midfield as well, I want to give Frenkie de Jong some rest, because if he's injured, we're absolutely going to be fucked. So my opinion is, rest him and do whatever you can. So I put Roberto, Kessie, and Gavi. I was thinking about put Pablo Torre to rest Gavi completely, but I'm like, you know what? Let's not go full rotation. Of course, Gavi suspended midweek, so I will play him. In the front three as well, I have rested Raphinha because I don't want him to get injured either. He has a lot of confidence right now, and also I want to bring him on last 20 minutes to maybe get a goal again, assist to keep his confidence high as well. I will stick with Loa because, again, there's no replacement, and he doesn't need a goal to, keep his confidence high as well. And I'm giving a bit of opportunity to Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati, hoping they can go out there, put in a good performance, and maybe get a goal or two to help with their confidence. And that's the lineup that I would select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? At the Spotify Camp Nou, against a relegation candidate team, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm demanding and expecting 3 points and a victory in Catalan, and I have gone Barcelona win this match by 2-0. I think it will be tight. I don't think it will be as easy as people are expecting. Of course, Cadiz, very good team defensively, and like Xavi mentioned in the press conference, they do have a good record against us over the past few years. I'm hoping we get to keep the clean sheet, because of course I think we're one clean sheet away from breaking the record, and Ter Stegen will get that Zamora trophy easily confirmed at that point. I think it'll, of course, help the team's confidence and morale, of course, to keep another clean sheet and not concede a goal. I do see Cadiz making this difficult, though. I would not be surprised if we only won 1-0 or if we're tight 2-1, whatever the case may be. But I am very, very confident that Barcelona will pick up all 3 points, and I have gone with Barcelona winning this match by 2-0. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was a match preview for Barcelona versus Cadiz in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to first see, of course, is your score prediction. And secondly, on your lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi will go with? What would you go with if you were the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow for the match by match reviews. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big 3 points on the board ready to be taken. Take care, and Forza Barca.